All right, what's up, everybody? Back here with another video for you. I have the Proto-Metal section that I've been talking up for a little bit here. I'm going to do A through K, so we're just going to get into it because it's kind of a bigger stack than I usually would be showing in one of these videos. But it's not going to be like stuff that I'm going to sit there and yak way too much about most of the time. So we're going to get into it. We are listening to this banger in the background. This is Winter Soul with the album Frozen Storm Apocalypse. This is kind of like a really aggressive kind of black metal album, really blasty. It's not usually my style, but for whatever reason, it just kind of jumped off the shelf at me, so I figured I'd play it. Check this out if you haven't listened to it. If you like Dark Funeral, but you want interesting riffs, I think it's a good place to start. We're going to drink a beer today. It's been a while, so we're going to drink this Old Boys Barrel Aged Series Chocolate Malty Balls from Tighthead Brewing in Mundelein, Illinois. My band played here, and I had to take one of these home just because I'm a big barrel-aged beer guy, and I really liked the label with Willie Nelson, Jerry Garcia, and Bob Marley on it. Amazing looking beer so far. That is a gorgeous look to it. Smells great in Australia. Oh, I had such a taste for a barrel-aged beer, so this is wonderful. All right. Dang, that's good. All right, so we're gonna start off. So when I say proto-metal, I mean like the hard rock and all the building blocks for heavy metal. You know, stuff that would really be either considered first wave of like metal. You know, first wave of metal, or like hard rock that's on the metal side of things, or like stuff that would be, you know, a big influence. So AC/DC with Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. I probably have some of this AC/DC stuff out of order. You guys have heard this. There's nothing that I can really tell you that you don't already know about this. I would probably say the song Rocker's my favorite song on here. Yeah, I would probably say Rocker's the best tune on here. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on AC/DC. Sorry, guys. Highway to Hell. Everybody knows this album as well. I don't know exactly what will be my favorite one on here. Probably Girls Got Rhythm. Not 100% sure. For those about to rock, I'm missing quite a bit of the classic era. I don't listen to this band very much. I do have them because I do occasionally get in the mood for it, but you know, for those about to rock, then Back in Black, which is, I think the cover's inside out for one reason or another. Or I think it's just missing the cover. Somebody must have taken it off of and put it on their wall or something like that. But yeah, regardless, Back in Black. I'll get the like other classic Bon Scott stuff eventually. It's just really not high on my priority list by any means. I got a couple from Aerosmith, which you guys might be able to try to come at me with It's Not Metal, which later on I'll give you that for sure. But the first couple Aerosmith records are like proto-metal for sure. The self-titled especially, which I don't own. The earliest one that I have right now is Toys in the Attic. This is a great record, man. Motorhead covered the song Train Keeps a Rollin', which isn't on this album, never mind. But Toys in the Attic is a heavy song, dude. It's really got a lot of that 70s hard rock flair to it. It's a very enjoyable record. If you guys haven't listened to this one, I would highly recommend you go do listen to it. And then I just have like two randos from their later part of their catalog. My wife is a big fan, so I kind of have grown to like these a little bit more than I would have otherwise. This one in particular has some heavier moments. It's also got some weird like Middle Eastern influence and like things like that. And this one I don't really remember that much about, other than the posters in the background of Drake and Josh. Anyway, I got two from April Wine. If you guys aren't familiar with April Wine, I have The Nature of the Beast and First Glance. This is a kind of hard rock, very Ted Nugent-y style of a band. They're not super duper heavy. They do have some acoustic moments in there, but I feel like it's tasteful enough to where you could probably still consider it firmly in the proto-metal camp. Something that I think was definitely an influence to the first wave of real heavy metal bands. Next, Blue Cheer with Vencibus Eruptum. I don't exactly know what that means. Obviously it's Latin. This is like super heavy psyched out blues rock with some really rough production to it. It's really heavy, man. It's got the song Summertime Blues on it, which I know from Alan Jackson. But I listened to this for the first time off of, I think Alan from Heavy Metallurgy was talking about it, and I saw this in the wild for $4, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go for it. And it's a really good record, man. I like a lot of this psych rock kind of stuff. Kind of reminds me of like Speed Glue and Shinky from Japan, if you guys are familiar. If not, that's something you gotta check out. It's kind of doomy, really good stuff. I've been trying to get more into Blue Oyster Cult, especially after that episode of Heavy Metallurgy a long while ago. This is a cool record. What is it? Secret Treaties. Everybody kind of knows this band. I don't know them as well as I'd like to, and I have some of their other records on other formats, but I do have Spectres as well. Yeah, I don't know a ton about them. This is one that has Godzilla on it. Everybody knows the hits. This is a great album cover, I think. This is Club Ninja. I don't know how I feel about this one quite yet, to be honest with you. I really like the cover, though. And then Imaginos. I don't remember if I've ever listened to this, to be completely honest with you. But, yeah, you know, it's got a song called The Siege and Investiture of Baron von Frankenstein's Castle at Vesseria. So that's kind of a mouthful. There's a couple mouthful titles on here. I feel like I should listen to this sometime because it sounds really cool. In 1988, I don't know how it's going to be. I don't know how they aged. But this beer aged very well in this barrel. Dang, dude. That's good. All right, I have a real highlight of this whole series here. The Budgie MCA albums. Dude, I love Budgie. I absolutely love Budgie. I got into them in like early high school and middle school. I got into them off of like some skateboard videos, and they kind of are like if Rush was a proto heavy metal band. So they come with like these fold over digipacks. They're not like just crap sleeves, you know, like a lot of these sets will do. On this album is Never Turn Your Back on a Friend. They're probably not in the correct order. Then this is Bandolier. Really, really cool stuff, man. So if you're not familiar with this band, it's a Welsh band. Oh, this has a Crash Course in Brain Surgery, which is great. In for the Kill is a great song. Dude, it's so good. Yeah. So good. I need to still get Squawk. I just haven't gotten around to getting it. These Budgie CDs are not the easiest thing to get a hold of. But yeah, this band is really kind of a heavier band. They have like a early James Gang feel. If you guys are familiar with the James Gang, they got a real heavy drive to them. But they also have a very Geddy Lee-ish approach to them otherwise. I think it's because the singer looks and kind of sounds like Geddy Lee, but it has none of the pretentious progressive elements to it, which I like Rush. Don't take that as me being a jerk. I'm probably a jerk, but don't take that as me being a jerk, because I like Rush. But yeah, check out Budgie if you haven't listened to it. Next is Captain Beyond's album Sufficiently Breathless. I got into this after hearing Michael Ackerfeld talk about them on a interview, talking about this kind of stuff, this band in particular influencing one of their albums. And this is the band, the original singer of Deep Purple formed after he left Deep Purple. It's not nearly as interesting nor as cool as Deep Purple, but nonetheless it's a really good hard rock album with some kind of heavier tinges to it from the 70s. It has like almost a hippy dippy feel to it, which, you know, you can kind of expect that out of these kind of bands sometimes. But really, really decent stuff. Next, Alice Cooper. A couple from Alice Cooper. I have School's Out. I recently have been trying to get more into Alice Cooper, so I've just been buying stuff like School's Out, and then I also picked up $1 Billion Babies. You know, this one's something that kind of stood out a little bit more to me. Stuff like Marianne's cool, and like hearing I Love the Dead is a song that kind of shocks you if you put yourself in the mentality of 1973. Or No More Mr. Nice Guy is on that one. And then there's Alice, Welcome to My Nightmare. Everybody knows this one, I think, as well. All of these are pretty iconic albums, like the Black Widow. Only Women Bleed is like one of the anthems of his career. And then the last Alice Cooper I have is Alice Cooper Goes to Hell. Yeah, I don't know too much about this one. Some of these Alice Cooper albums I've only heard the one time when I bought them, and then I moved on to something else, just because, like, this isn't a mood that gets me all the time, but I do like Alice Cooper every time I listen to it. But yeah, so next we got a handful from Purple. I have most of the worth owning Deep Purple. Not all of it, but most of it. Here's Shades of Deep Purple. This is their debut record from 1968. This is that singer that went and formed Captain Beyond. I don't want to look through here and figure it out. But this one, I could talk about these two together, because that one and then the self-titled are like the same kind of album. They basically, you could put these two together or put them on interchangeably, and I wouldn't be able to tell you otherwise. They're very much so really psychedelic late 60s blues rock albums. Super heavy, super drug-induced kind of stuff. It's good. I enjoy it, but it's not my style all the time. They really come in their own with the Ian Gillan era, which kind of starts right here with In Rock. Everybody loves this record, dude. You have to. One of the greatest metal songs, rock songs of all time is Child in Time. Amazing. If you watch like live versions of this album, of that, it's just so good. Flight of the Rats is a cool track. Hard Lovin' Man, Into the Fire, just a great record, and it kind of is a great building block to this monster of an album being Machine Head. Not the band, because that band is an atrocity. This is like one of those kind of albums I could put on and I know all the songs already for the most part. It's a classic for a reason. I don't know. This is basically Sabbath's Paranoid for Deep Purple. But the song Highway Star is so good. So space truckin'. Who cares about Smoke on the Water? But Lazy, super catchy. Maybe I'm a Leo. The whole thing is just a great record. Then I have Live in Concert, which is them two complete 1970 to 72 recordings. Yeah, I don't know exactly the stuff about this. This is not live in Japan, which is something else I need to get. But it's just some live Purple stuff. And once you hear Ian Gillan do Child in Time live, you're just like never going to be the same, dude. I'm telling you, it's so good. Watch some of the live videos here on YouTube. It's well worth your time. Next, some Coverdale era, Burn. This kind of maintains a similar spirit to Machine Head, but has David Coverdale singing on it. Particularly the song Sail Away is something I remember liking quite a bit. The title track, Burn, is also a really great record. I love Deep Purple. I really, really do. So, top quality stuff. Next is Fireball from Deep Purple as well. This is something I got into pretty early. I'm pretty sure I have the LP over there, and I got that in high school. And, you know, it's a good record as well. It hasn't captivated me quite as well. I think Burn is the last really, really, really captivating Deep Purple album for me. But this is a great record as well. Stormbringer. I really like the David Coverdale era. I like Whitesnake, so I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit partial. But it's cool to hear him in this context. Still, you know, still in the frilly Captain Jack Sparrow shirt era of rock, you know. And then, like, the last Purple record people actually care about, which is Perfect Stranger. I've heard really good things. I've listened to this once, and I barely remember it. I'm not going to lie to you. So I can't say too much about this record. But, you know, I'm going to leave it at that because I really don't want to just talk out of my tailpipe for that one. But I'll get back to it eventually. Next is a top quality album, which is Heart Attack by Dust. This is so good. This is so good, dude. You gotta have this in your collection if you like this kind of stuff. So this is really, really firmly planted in the hard rock genre. Definitely a bit of the sword and sorcery feel to it. Not just because of the dwarven Viking kind of Manila Road looking fighting guys on the front, but it just kind of has like an epic questing element to it, which is really, really sweet. And it also has some really cool acoustic portions. They employ the 12-string guitar quite a bit, and it adds a nice dynamic to the record, I think. This is the kind of stuff that I kind of like thrive on, especially when I was like 19, man. I was really, really getting into like random obscurities from the early 70s. There's like a whole rabbit hole you could find or fall down here on YouTube of like random one-off great hard rock records from like 71 to like 78, and you just fall down it. Look this album up and start looking through the recommended. You're gonna find some great stuff. Check out Dust. Couple from Elf, Dio's band pre-Rainbow. This is brilliant, dude. This is such a good hard rock kind of honky-tonk southern rock album. all around, dude, this is just something I really love. In the warm weather, this is something that hits the spot a little bit more than, you know, something like this Winter Soul record or me putting on whatever black metal album. You know, it's got to be like a rainy day for me to want that in the summertime. But this is just fun. It's catchy. Dio is amazing in every context he's ever in. And then there's two more albums here, which is Trying to Burn the Sun and Carolina County Ball. It's two more Elf albums, that one and that one here. Just on a 2-disc set. I haven't spent as much time with these ones as I have that self-titled Elf record, but I do remember loving it quite a bit. And then the rest is all Kiss. So, one of the greatest bands in music history, unquestionably. Kiss's self-titled album is a classic, must-own in every respectable collection. I don't care if you're a jazz cat, you need to have Kiss's self-titled album. But every song on here is so good. I don't know what's my favorite. The first thing that I started singing in my head was Nothing to Lose, within Kissin' Time, and then I just keep looking down the track list and humming things. So you need this. You absolutely need this, and if you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you, dude. Something up with you. Hotter Than Hell, their second record. Another great classic. The production's a bit of a stretch on this one. It makes it a little bit tough. But songs like Parasite are really, really good. Let Me Go Rock and Roll. Coming Home. Watching You is a great Kiss song. I'm a big, big fan. I really am. Hanging out with one of my best friends, dude. He's a Kiss maniac. I've mentioned him before. It's just made me love Kiss so much more. And then Dress to Kill. This is one of the first Kiss albums I ever got. Songs like Ladies in Waitin' and Come On and Love Me. I love Come On and Love Me. Man. Rock Bottom. Room Service. Baby, you could use a meal. Dude, I'm gonna start singing. I'm gonna power through this Kiss section before it turns into karaoke night. Rock and Roll Over, probably my favorite Kiss record. If not, probably number 2. It's more than likely between this one, Love Gun, and the self-titled. But this is such a good record, man. Take Me. Callin' Dr. Love is a bit of a hit, but it's so good. But dude, one song I really love on here is Hard Luck Woman. Peter Criss is great. I love Peter Criss's singing. He sounds quite a bit like Rod Stewart, and I'm a big fan of Rod Stewart's music. Yeah, dude, it's so good. He's got like a nice rasp to him, but it's not necessarily bluesy. It's more attitude-y than it is bluesy. I Want You is a great album opener as well. Then Destroyer, which is another iconic album. I mean, come on, like Flamin' Youth. Do You Love Me? I mean, like, do you? Dude, all right. I need to stop. I'm getting excited. I'm going to be in a Kiss mood the rest of the week. Love Gun. Amazing, amazing album. One of my favorite songs they ever did. Man. It's probably I Stole Your Love. On here, the opening track. But it's like Christine 16 and Shock Me. Love Gun, the title track, man. Plaster Caster. Ace is such a great singer too. Oh man, I'm so glad I got to see Ace Frehley live. I never got to saw Kiss. I'll probably go see him eventually. And then I have some of these, like, I have the Paul Stanley solo. I don't remember much of anything about this. It's pretty weak. That's about all I remember. Same thing this one. I remember that my buddies and I had like a joke about the like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star thing he does in here or whatever. I don't remember. Then music from The Elder, which is kind of like Kiss's hand at prog rock. I don't remember how well it turned out, to be honest with you. I know it's not the most popular in the Kiss discography. I'll have to put it on again sometime, because I have lots of tolerance for Kiss's crap, so I would definitely have to check it out. Crazy Nights, their hand at like hair metal. I mean, like, they're unmasked and Paul Stanley doesn't know how to zip up his pants anymore. So there's something just different. It's very different. But that being said, this era of Kiss is probably the heaviest era of Kiss, where they do quite a bit more of like metal riffage. You know, they're definitely influenced by the bands at the time. 87, yeah, they had lots of time for change. I'm missing a bunch of Kiss stuff as well, but then I have Unplugged. I probably listened to this once. What do you need to listen to an acoustic Kiss concert for? I don't know, man. Songs on here are really cool, like, you know, Rock Bottom's great, Nothing to Lose. Beth has got to be good acoustic, you know, whatever, it's Kiss. I'm going to leave it at that, y'all. That's a big stack, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll catch y'all later. Keep it greasy.